In this week's video, I'm going to summarize the court's judgment in the matter of Ham versus DTB Uganda. If this sounds like something you're interested in, kindly keep watching this YouTube video. Hello, my name is KIggundu and this is the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel. So the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel is a place where we have free and honest conversations, especially in regards to commercial transactions and cyberspaces. If this sounds like something you're interested in, kindly subscribe to this YouTube video. You're going to see the subscribe button under this video somewhere here. Yes, kindly subscribe and then also hit the notification bell, which is somewhere under this video, so that you are notified every time I release new videos, and I release new videos religiously, like the boss I am. The Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel is also an addition of Ask Me About the Law blog and Ask Me About the Law podcast. If you're interested and would like to check them out, I'm going to leave them linked in the description box of this YouTube video. Kindly check them out. They're very informative because I tend to include information that I really cannot say or include in the videos for purposes of not making the video lengthy. To understand the trajectory of the case, I believe it's very essential to understand the history of the case. It is alleged that between February 2011 and August 2018, KIggundu sought and was offered loans by bank for construction of his commercial properties. Now, he mortgaged his properties, i.e. the property on Makerere Hill Road, which he provided as security for the mortgages that DTB Kenya was willing to offer to him. Now, remember, in the previous two videos I've done on this YouTube channel, I'm going to leave them linked somewhere in the YouTube video or in the description box of this video. You have to check them out. One is called Family Accuses Bank of Fraud, and another one is called How to Legally Halt a Mortgage Debt Recovery. Now, in those videos, I give and explain to you, the viewer, on what exactly is the relationship of a mortgagor, mortgagee, how it's constructed, its duties and responsibilities, especially now that is in Family Accuses Bank of Fraud. I really encourage you to watch them because they're going to give you a bigger picture of the relationship that existed between Ham, who sought the loan from the bank, and DTB Kenya, which provided the loan to him in this instance. Now that we have that out of the way, and you clearly now know what are the duties that arise from the mortgagor-mortgagee relationship, which is Ham and DTB Bank, you know that for Ham to have been able to receive the loan from DTB Kenya, Ham had to provide security. So the security provided were his properties, which provided as security, and the parameters of this type of relationship is that every individual is supposed to fulfill their responsibilities, i.e. DTB Kenya gives Ham the loan in terms of money, then Ham fulfills his duty of repaying back the loans to DTB Kenya as required in the relationship they constructed or in the timeline that they set in that loan agreement. So another interesting fact you need to know is that one of the parameters or clauses that was in the loan agreement between DTB Kenya and Ham was that when Ham consented and signed the loan agreement paperwork, which is a letter, I think letter of offer, it stipulated that one, by Ham signing the letter, he acknowledged that DTB Uganda was appointed as the agent of DTB Kenya, and DTB Uganda was tasked with the responsibility of one, ensuring that Ham endeavors to meet all his financial obligations, including timely payment on the loan as stipulated in the agreement. And also there was a provision that also provided that DTB Uganda also had the right to deduct any monies from Ham's accounts in DTB if Ham failed to meet the obligations of repayment of the loans on time. Now, it is on this ground, right, that Ham filed a suit before the courts of law in Uganda, one challenging the legality of the appointment of DTB Uganda as an agent of DTB Kenya in this relationship, and then two, it was also on these grounds that Ham filed a matter before the court in this case where he required the court's pronunciation to state that the loans provided to him were illegally done because DTB Kenya did not have license to conduct business in Uganda. Therefore, he wanted the court to declare the loans granted to him by DTB Kenya null and void. In other words, he didn't want to pay the loans back. Anyway, in this video, I'm not supposed to give my opinion. I'm just supposed to give the judgment, a summary of the judgment in Ham versus DTB. Ham also used this opportunity to file a matter before the High Court challenging the sale of his properties and also inquiring the court to grant him an injunction to halt DTB Uganda from conducting the sale of the properties that we've earlier on discussed that he provided as security for the loan that he required from DTB Kenya. Now, if you watch my video that I did in this series, I'm going to leave it linked somewhere. It's called How to Legally Halt a Mortgage Debt Recovery Process, and in that video I talk about applying for an injunction, and I give a very detailed explanation on the impact of applying for an injunction and how injunctions are used by aggrieved parties to have the courts prevent or stop or literally pause banks from conducting the sale of their mortgage property until the court says otherwise. So I really encourage you to watch that video. It will explain what really happened with Ham's application of an injunction. But yes, in this episode, in this case, the case is Ham Enterprises Limited and two others versus Diamond Trust Bank Uganda Limited, and another malicious application number 654 of 2002, which judgment was passed on 7th October 2020. If you'd like to read the full case and you have the time, I'm also going to leave it linked in the description box of this YouTube video. You may want to check it out. If so far you've understood the history of this whole case, kindly like this video. If you've understood the explanations I'm giving you of the facts of the case before or prior to Ham filing the matter before the case, still kindly like this video. Then also, if you'd like me to explain further and you've not understood, or you have something that you would like me to clarify on, kindly drop a comment in the comment section of this YouTube video. Like I said, I always read every comment. Like, if Joanne is always like that, I look forward to reading your comments. So just drop something in the comment section. I will definitely respond and find a way of mitigating this situationship. Now that we have all understood the facts leading up to Ham filing this matter before court, let us understand the judge's reasoning in what he deliberated. So first things first, I'm going to break down this video into two arguments. Now, there are other arguments that were raised in court, but for purposes of the content which you're only asking about the law, which is commercial, I'm going to limit this discussion to strictly commercial transactions. So two arguments were raised in this matter, and the court addressed those two arguments. One is in regards to DTB Uganda and DTB Kenya's statement of defense, where they conceded to Ham's submission that they acted illegally by conducting a financial institution business without license, thus violating the Financial Institution Act of 2004 as amended. So this is Ham's argument in summary. Please pay attention. If you're watching this, like, I need you to focus and listen. So Ham argues, right? Now Ham is someone who went to DTB Kenya, flew to DTB Kenya, signed the agreements for the loan. Sometime around 2011, 2017, he signed the loans, and then fast forward now, he is saying that he's the one now telling the court that DTB Kenya acted illegally by violating the laws of Uganda because DTB Kenya did not first seek for a license from Bank of Uganda to give Ham those loans. I hope we are together. I think I need to repeat that. So Ham went to court, seeking the court and telling the court that DTB Kenya acted illegally and violated the laws of Uganda by conducting business of financial institution, which means in this particular case, giving Ham loans because DTB Kenya did not seek for authorization to conduct that business of giving loans to him. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, for it depends on whatever angle you look at this from, the court actually agreed with him, and this is the presiding judge's rationale in what he said. So Ham submitted the following provisions, and I would really like you to follow with me because they may be a bit technical, but do not worry, I'm going to break them down for you. I'm going to first state the provisions, then I will explain. So first of all, Ham cited section 3 clause K of the Financial Institutions Act 2004, which states that a financial institution is a company carrying out a financial institution business. It can be a company licensed to carry on or conduct financial institution business in Uganda and includes a commercial bank, merchant bank, mortgage bank, post office, savings bank, credit institution, a building society, an acceptancy house, a discount house, a financial house, or an institution which by regulation is classified as a financial institution by the central bank. Now, if you look at the services provided for DTB Kenya website, you will notice that it concedes that it is a financial institution because it provides services of borrowing and lending, which in the matter at hand, DTB Kenya granted HAM the loans that he sought for. So technically that makes it a financial institution. HAM also proceeded to cite, to define for the bench, which citation the bench actually acknowledged, the definition of a financial institution to mean the business of accepting of deposits, issuing of deposits, substitutes, lending and extending of credit, including one, customer and mortgage credit, factoring with or without resources, the financing of commercial transaction, the recovery of foreclosure or other means of amounts so lent, advanced or extended, fortifying namely the medium term of discount without recourse of bills, notes and other documents, evidencing an exporter's claim on the person to whom the exports are sent, i.e. acceptance credit, engaging in its foreign exchange business, in particular buying and selling of foreign currencies, including forward and option type contracts for the future sale of foreign currencies, and finally issuing and administering means of payment, including credit cards, traveler checks and banker's draft. HAM also endeavored to define for the panel that DTB Kenya is a foreign bank, and he cited that a foreign bank is defined under the Financial Institutions Act as a body corporate of entity that is incorporated or formed under the terms of law of a country other than Uganda, that is a bank according to the laws of any foreign country where it carries on businesses, and b, that it carries on businesses in a country other than Uganda, and that it, if carried out in Uganda, would be wholly or to a significant extent a financial institution. Now, let me break down those provisions. So, the Financial Institutions Act of Uganda 2004 as amended is a law that governs how financial institutions in Uganda are supposed to operate. That law specifically requires that for any foreign bank, i.e. DTB Kenya, if you can see the definition I cited above, which defines for DTB Kenya as a foreign bank, that bank is supposed to seek authorization before it conducts business in Uganda. The business is, i.e. lending out money, for example, to HAM. So it's supposed to seek for authorization before it conducts that loan business. Now, it also proceeds to say that it is because of these provisions, right? HAM's argument is that it is because of these provisions, the fact that DTB Kenya did not provide any evidence in court in their deliberation and submissions to the court to convince the judge and show the judge that they got authorization from the central bank, which is Bank of Uganda, allowing them to conduct that business. So regardless of the fact that HAM went to Kenya or whatever and he got the loans and signed the loans and signed the letters confirming that he acknowledged the loan, the fact that DTB Bank of Uganda did not seek for authorization from Bank of Uganda, it is therefore HAM's argument that this entire arrangement between DTB Kenya and HAM is a violation of the laws of Uganda, and therefore that whole relationship and anything arising out of that relationship should be declared null and void, in other words, meaning that it never happened. The judge in this matter agreed with HAM and said that because of the above stated provisions which apply to both DTB Kenya and DTB Uganda. Now, because, like I said, the Financial Institutions Act is the holy grail, the guiding principle of financial institutions in Uganda. So any foreign institution that tries to do business in Uganda or with any individual in Uganda, according to this judgment and the judge's reasoning in this matter, that individual institution is supposed to seek for authorization. So he proceeds to say that therefore the fact that HAM was issued the loans in Kenya, it still does not change the fact that the Financial Institutions Act is still binding on DTB Kenya. So because DTB Kenya did not seek for license from Bank of Uganda, it therefore puts the transaction that happened between HAM and DTB Kenya amounting to an illegal transaction. So Ham proceeded to cite section 117 of the Financial Institutions Act, which provides that clause 1 provides that a foreign bank may, in such a form and in such a manner as shall be prescribed by a central bank, by the statutory instrument applied to central bank, for permission to establish a representation office in Uganda, to engage in such limited activities, excluding taking of deposits, as the central bank may approve. Now, what this means is that because DTB Kenya did not seek for authorization from Bank of Uganda to conduct the first part of the transaction, which is giving Ham the loans to begin with, it made the entire relationship null and void because DTB Kenya was operating without a license. So this brings us to the second subsection of that argument. So on that principle, the court continued to state further that because the gist or the core element of that argument was illegal, it also creates a ripple effect which affects now the appointment of DTB Uganda by DTB Kenya as an agent. This is what I mean. If you look at the provision I've stated, section 117 of the Financial Institutions Act, it requires that for a foreign bank, it has to seek authorization from Bank of Uganda to create an agent, or this would be now Bank of Uganda, to seek for license or authorization from Bank of Uganda. Now, in the facts or in the submissions in court, DTB Kenya did not also again provide that license, remember we've talked about, and it still did not provide that license that would have legalized its appointment of DTB Uganda as its agent in this entire transaction. This brings us to the second gist of the argument that was raised by Ham in this matter. So Ham says that in regards to the illegality of the appointment of DTB Uganda to act as an agent for DTB Kenya, remember we have said as a requirement provided for by section 117 of the Financial Institutions Act, definitely DTB Kenya should have sought for authorization from the central bank before it appointed DTB Uganda as its agent. This is what I'm trying to say. So because DTB Kenya did not seek for authorization to first grant Ham the loans, its appointment of DTB Uganda makes the whole relationship illegal, and any other circumstances, responsibilities, rights arising out of this relationship is null and void because of the failure to meet one simple requirement by DTB Kenya, which is seeking for authorization from Bank of Uganda. This is what I mean. The presiding judge quoted the case of Makula International versus His Eminence Cardinal Subuganda Natha of 1982 before the High Court of Uganda, case number 11, where it was held that court cannot sanction that which is illegal, and that which is illegal if is brought before the court. So in simple terms, what this means is that if you bring a matter before the court and the court even remotely sense the illegality in perhaps the formation of that relationship, for example, in this matter, for example, the formation of the relationship between Ham and DTB Kenya, because the illegality is that DTB Kenya did not seek for authorization and license from Bank of Uganda, it made the entire relationship illegal. So any duties, responsibilities, liabilities that were arising out of that relationship were illegal. And DTB Kenya was asked about the relationship, the nature of the relationship between DTB Uganda and DTB Kenya, because it was Ham's submission that DTB Uganda was actually carrying out the business of financial institution, while DTB Kenya argued that no, it was only just acting as the agent of the bank. So the judge noted that as per paragraph 6 of the letter of offer dated 23rd October 2017 between Ham, DTB Kenya and Uganda, titled Establishment of a Term Loan for US dollars, 4 million United States US dollars, there was a specific clause that stated that by accepting this letter of offer, you irrevocably recognize Diamond Trust Bank Uganda, Kampala, who is our appointed agent for this lending, to debit your account held with them with the said appraisal fee and taxes simultaneously, and with establishment of the facilities in the bank books, and on each anniversary of the term of loan, remitted funds to us. That this specific clause is evidence of the fact that DTB Kenya, has appointed DTB Uganda as its agent, thereby DTB Uganda participating in illegal activity because it did not have a license or a stamp of approval from Bank of Uganda establishing the working relationship between DTB Kenya and DTB Uganda, therefore now making also their relationship, the relationship created by DTB Kenya, to have DTB Uganda as its agent. Now, if you notice in that clause, it also emphasized that if HAM failed to make the loan repayments to the bank, DTB Uganda had the right to deduct any monies on HAM's account in DTB Uganda. Now, in the judge passing his judgment and orders, he emphasized that because of the illegality of the nature of the relationship between DTB Kenya and HAM, thereby nullifying any rights, duties, responsibilities HAM had to DTB Kenya. So it stated that one, all the monies that were being slashed from his account because DTB Kenya wanted to enforce its right to recover its properties and money that had lent out to HAM. The orders from the court required that one, DTB Uganda remit all the money it had deducted from HAM's account. Two, that DTB Uganda was also halted from conducting any sales transactions of HAM's mortgage properties that it has provided as security to DTB Kenya when it sought to have the loan from DTB Kenya. And any unlawful properties or amounts taken from HAM's account ought to be returned to him unconditionally, and there has to be discharge of his mortgages back to him. Again, I really encourage you to watch a video I'm also going to leave it linked in the description box of this video. I think this one is about Stanbic Bank. Yes, it's about Stanbic Bank. Stanbic Bank top employees who allegedly also sold property, a distressed client's property to the top bosses. I'm also going to leave it linked in the description box of this video. Now it's going to talk about the right to discharge, how exactly it's supposed to happen, and the likes. Now, the laws of Uganda are very specific in trying to enforce that financial institutions or anyone carrying out the business of a financial institution has to seek a license from Bank of Uganda. Section 126 clause 3 of the Financial Institutions Act provides that a financial institution which does not in any act prohibited by this act or fails to do anything required by the act commits an offense, and where no specific penalty is provided for, the financial institution is liable, and on conviction, to a fine not exceeding 250 currency points, and in the case of the continuing offense, to an additional fine not exceeding 50 currency points for each day on which the offense is created. Now, it is on this ruling or on this specific provision that the judge emphasized that because DTB Uganda clearly admitted that in its actions and in its character, and this is now the judge's words, I'm not quoting mine, it's his comments, he's saying that DTB Kenya's actions clearly showed that it was trying to evade legally getting a license from Bank of Uganda to legalize and also regulate its operation in Uganda. By mere facts, the judge, I therefore remain with no option but to declare all acts conducted by DTB Kenya as null and void, therefore saying in simple terms that there is no relationship between HAM and DTB Kenya. There are no duties, responsibilities, and there are no duties, responsibilities that HAM has to DTB Kenya. HAM should not pay back the loans that he got from DTB Kenya. HAM's properties should not be sold or mortgaged, etc. That is what is meant by null ab initio. You have been watching the Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel. The Ask Me About the Law YouTube channel is a place where we have free and honest conversations, and I am your host, Nagaev Jowan. If you've enjoyed what we have talked about in this YouTube video, kindly go down to the video and just give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Or you can always just leave a comment, suggestion, recommendation in the comment section. I always endeavor to answer each and every comment that comes in from you guys. If you'd like to talk to me in person, my social media handles. I'm going to leave them in the description box of this YouTube video, also to check them out. If you'd like to talk to ask me about the law or send any questions that you'd like to have addressed either directly on the show or privately, I'm also going to leave the handles, the social media handles, linked in the description box of this YouTube video, so you definitely have to check them out. Until next week, I remain your host, yours truly, Nagarev Joan. Don't forget to wear a mask and stay safe.